Hi, my name is Alyssa Koger and I'm doing my video history project over the Sangamon Ordnance Plant. The Sangamon Ordnance Plant was a facility that manufactured the United States Army's ammunition during World War II. It first started out as two separate plants, the Sangamon and the Oak Ordnance plants, but by the end of World War II, the facilities were consolidated into the Sangamon Ordnance Plant. It was located around Illiopolis, Illinois, right here in Sangamon County. There were a few factors that made Illiopolis the right location for the ordnance plant. As you can see, it is almost exactly in the center of the state. This site was also located along what used to be the Wabash Railroad and the Illinois Central Traction System. US Route 36 ran through the area as well. This easy access to both modes of transportation definitely aided in the distribution of the ammunition. This spot had plenty of ground to provide a safety buffer around the plant in case there was an explosion. Construction of the plant began early in 1942. There were 15,000 construction workers and the plant was finished by September of 1942 with a total cost of $35 million. The plant was used to produce 20, 57, 75, and 90 millimeter armor-piercing and highly explosive artillery shells. Armor-piercing shells are a type of ammunition used to penetrate different types of armor. The plant also produced bomb fuses and bursters, which are the core of firebombs. The original site was huge, as it covered about 19,200 acres in eastern Sangamon County. When the ordnance plant was at its peak, it had a workforce around 10,000 people and helped pull the Springfield and Decatur areas out of economic depression created by the Great Depression and the long-term decline of coal mining. Over 60% of these employees were women. For many of these women, it was the first time in their lives working outside of their homes. In a certain facility in the plant, there were very dangerous explosives that were being handled. This facility was very secure and safe. It was surrounded by barbed wire fences, and there were about 600 security officers that patrolled the perimeter of the plant in cars and on horseback. To enter the plant, employees had to show their badges. The employees had to wear special safety shoes and could not wear any jewelry or hairpins. They were actually searched down before they were allowed on the job. The precautions that were given seemed to be effective. There were millions of shells that went through the facility, but only 2 people died. Keeping and recruiting employees was hard for the plant to do. The plant actively requested for teachers, students, and farmers to work seasonally if they could. Other people were recruited to work 4 hours a day after working their regular job. The plant made a newspaper advertisement that was primarily aimed at women that promised great wages, overtime, insurance, free medical services, and more. In September of 1943, the plant had a daycare facility added in one of the dorms. This was a great new benefit for employees, as about 50 children are being cared for during shifts 5 days a week. Today, this may not seem like a big deal, but in the 1940s, this was unheard of. It was described as being unique and very uncommon with other industries across the country. The plant was announced closed on September 6, 1945. Most of the property was put up for sale. Many of the plant's buildings were sold at very discounted prices and then relocated. The previous owners of the farmland got the first chance in buying back the land. The farmland was also at a discounted price because of the damage that the land had suffered over the years and the many unneeded structures and foundations that needed to be removed. Some of the areas had to be decontaminated, but even after that was done, chemical residues continued to show up in some sites around the plant for decades. Some parts of the plant actually still remain today, although 90% of the plant has been returned to farmland. These were concrete structures called change houses, and apparently this is where the employees change into their work clothes. Today, the change houses are used for farm storage for the farmers, as you can see in this photo. In this picture, you can see the original Sangamon Ordnance Plant water tower, and it's actually still there today, although most of those buildings are no longer surrounding it.